Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at the Variety Scout Giovanni and Rhydon. So they released alongside the other Rocket Executives, well, the Rocket Executives, I guess, in the Variety Scout banner. The banner's a scam, don't summon for it, but this guy is definitely the best sync pair to come out of it. He is Pokefair level, for sure, and we're going to see why, right? So this is going to be a 1 out of 5 showcase. I'm going to EX him later in the video, probably after the first, 2 battles, because the big thing with his EX is that he's a Field EX, and he sets Ground Zone on his Field EX, which is really, really good, right? I thought it would be Sand, but no, it's Ground Zone, so that's very, very good for, his move here, and, well, of course, his sync move as well, so we're going to look at that a little bit later, but let's go ahead and look at the stuff here without the EX first. So, with no upgrades, like no EX stats or anything, he's got 684 HP, which is good, 351 in both offenses, which is pretty solid, 174 defense, 154 speed, special defense, and 244 speed. Pretty average / meager bulk. HP is good, defense is solid, special defense is a little bit low, but the speed, 244, is pretty bad, honestly. But the offenses are good, which is the big point, so that's fine. Looking at the moves, he has the Crushing Earthquake, which is basically like a buddy move, but without the buddy move in the name. Activation condition is when the user's attack is raised, and the deactivation condition is when the user's attack is not raised. Very easy to activate, and you'll find out why. Not because you can just buff it with an ally. And the passive, the effects of this move is the more the user's special attack is raised, the greater the power of this attack. I'm going to assume it's like Furious Brain. Yeah, Brain, where it's a 30% multiplier. Causes a Sandstorm the first time the attack move is successful each battle, which is great, and then lowers the target's speed by 1. It's an AoE attack, 180 base power. 4 gauge, of course. Very good stuff there for sure. Furious Brain is an innate multiplier, 180 base power, causing a Sandstorm whenever it's first used. Very, very good stuff for sure. Other than that, he's got Icy Wind and Surf, both of which are affected by Hit the Gas 5, so they have 138 base power and 150 base power, respectively. So there's that. And the Trainer move, which applies the critical hit next effect to an ally, the super effective next effect to an ally, free moves next effect to an ally, and increases the physical moves next and special moves next of an ally by 1 during a Sandstorm. So you're mostly going to be using on him to get crit, super effective move, special moves next, physical moves next, free moves next, the whole fucking thing, right? You're going to be getting a lot of stuff from that, and you can also use it on allies if you choose to as well, so that's good. Passive skills, he's got Giovanni's Experience, which is the powers up users' moves during Sandstorm. I don't know if this is a 30% multiplier or a 50% multiplier. I'm going to probably, it's one of those two, 30%, 50%. I'm not sure, because I can't find anywhere to tell me. It doesn't give me a number. Anyway. Extends duration of a Sandstorm when a Sandstorm is caused while the user is on the field. This is great if he's partnered up with Ingo, or of course, extending Sand for his buddy move there. So that's good. And protects all allies from damage during a Sandstorm, which is good as well, because as you may have, if you've watched my Archer video, as soon as Irida died, Silver died immediately to Hail. So negating that chip damage is fucking crucial half the time. Okay, and then of course, as we stated, he's got Hit the Gas 5 for a 50% power buff to all of his moves in exchange for having a gauge increase, which is good. And then the Ferocious Entry 6, which raises his attack and special attack by 6 on entry. Very good stuff there, right? Very, very good. All he needs is crit buffs, which he can apply a critical hit next effect from his trainer move here. So that's why the activation conditions of this is not bad, because he literally gets it as he enters the battle. He's got pretty much nothing here on the grid. Headstrong, Icy Wind accuracy, that's pretty much it, really. I gave him Crit Strike 2 as a lucky skill, and for his sync move here, just 250 base power, nothing, except for whenever we EX him, it'll be able to set Ground Zone. So let's go ahead, see what Giovanni's able to do. We'll probably... I don't know. We're going to take him against Stadium to see how well he can do with Surf and Icy Wind, and then we're going to probably EX him and try him out with Crushing Earthquake. So we want to really power that up. I'm going to be honest, Giovanni without dupes for water and probably ice without super effective damage sucks. Alright, let's be honest here. So let's go ahead, face Malva here with Signasuit Chris, Giovanni, and Archie here. I've tried the setup before. It worked just fine for the most part, but yeah, I don't know. Obviously, Archie's going to be a big source of damage here, so it's not like Giovanni is literally just doing it all on his own, so it kind of takes the little bit of showcase, I guess, out of it. I don't know, but that's kind of just what I noticed for the most part. So yeah, let's go ahead, use a Rain Dance here, get some gauge acceleration in here. That miss is actually fucking crucial. You're kidding me. That's upsetting. That's very upsetting, actually. Oh well, and that Flare Blitz is probably going to kill, so this may be the end of this recording. Oh, that's funny. It's funny that it's shitty and funny at the same time. That's okay. There we go. Flare Blitz took her down to Endurance. That's always fun. And there was the X Defense All. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. So let's go do that. That's fine. I guess we're going to try for the Rain Dance here. Got the Sync Burst, which is whatever. It's fine. And yeah, there's the problem that we encounter. Okay. Oh, brother. Fair enough, I guess, though. So this is pretty much special moves next ramping with Chris here, for the most part. Pretty much what it is, plus her passive skills and whatnot. All of these just kind of culminate into giving us a lot of special moves next and whatnot. So there's 4,000 damage from Giovanni. Solo target with the 2 sync buffs and whatnot. And we miss. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? Buddy, pal, friend, bruh. Good miss. Good miss. I applaud you, Archie. I don't really care, honestly. I won in my run. That would have won without the miss. I don't fucking care. So, okay. There's the parameters for Malva. I just wanted to showcase the water outside of Entei because fucking why not, I guess. You pretty much need a lot of special moves next ramping, or like maybe flinches, sync countdown, that type of stuff in order to get a good win in, but, you know, whatever. Let's go ahead, face Drazna here, and use our ice stuff, probably alongside Irida as well. That should be fun. Alright, here we are versus Iceweek Drazna for the Father-Son plus Red setup. Yeah, I think it's kind of ironic. I was going to do it with Irida, but, like, Irida just kind of makes Giovanni look horrible in comparison, so may as well not even try it, right? Giovanni 1 out of 5 is not great for ice damage without Ice Zone, or yeah, Ice Zone plus I guess Hail for Irida and whatnot, right? Irida definitely buffs these ice types a lot, so not having her zone or anything is like pretty bad, right? So this clear, not really the most fun. Obviously, you could probably get a pretty easy clear out of it, you know, yourself if you wanted to try. But without having like the super effective multipliers, Giovanni's Icy Winds just don't hit hard enough. But we do make a lot of use of these super effective necks from Red and Giovanni's own trainer move, as well as obviously physical moves next, free moves next. Free moves next was a big one for this because that was kind of half the reason I was able to win. Otherwise, Gage would have just been horrible. Silver, I hate him. I'm going to be honest. I don't hate Silver as a character, but that sync pair, I hate that sync pair because they need too many buffs too quickly, for me, in my opinion. And missing is a massive problem because I just kept missing, whether it be with the buddy move or whether it be against that Flygon on the last attack to try and get it to, you know, get KO'd, whatever else, right? I was just struggling so bad to get this guy to like land an attack or crit on a sync move. Critting wasn't his fault directly, but it was like, he just would not crit. Just wouldn't crit, even with max crit. It just didn't happen. I just had the worst crit RNG. It just took way too long, man. But we were able to get the win anyway, so it wasn't really too big of a problem. Those Earthquakes hit for a lot of damage, but, you know, whatever. Silver's able to handle it. -6 on the speed because of Giovanni and himself, as well as max speed from his X speed pluses. And goodbye, Rhydon. Alright? Took me way too long to do that, honestly. Yeah, and the parameters are here. So we're going to go ahead and EX Giovanni, showcase the field EX and whatnot against Raikou, and then come back here for the stadium battle and everything. So yeah, I'll see you all over there. Alright, here we are to face Raikou. I decided to not EX Giovanni just because I wanted to showcase some ground damage before and after the EX. So this is before EX, I guess. We got Sonya for speed buffs, crit buffs, the fucking defense debuffs, the whole 9 yards. Courtney for ground zone. Let's go ahead, hop into the battle here. Sadly, I may hold off on using Giovanni's move just because I want to make sure I have sand up whenever like the battle really starts ramping up. So let's go ahead, do this, and then we'll just use a bulldoze, I guess, with Courtney. We'll have to hold off a little bit here. We'll just go ahead and use an Icy Wind, I guess. Nothing really super crazy. And then we'll keep going for these bulldozes with Courtney. Even if they're not critting, damage is damage, and I can't complain too much. And after waiting a whole 2.5 seconds, let's go ahead and use the Crushing Earthquake now. Fucking may as well. And we'll go ahead and use Ground Wish as well. Okay. Shouldn't be too bad here. We'll go ahead and use Sonya's... Holy shit. Some good damage. All right, so ground, the sand is now up, so we're buffing. So Giovanni's stats are getting buffed, or his attack is getting buffed. Okay. This is good because he's got the innate ability to buff his moves when in sand. I believe it's, again, 30% or 50%. But he also has the Furious Brain multiplier here on his Crushing Earthquake, or whatever it's called. Yeah, Crushing Earthquake. So we've also got that to do. Oh my god. That's not even with like a... No, that is with a super effective next. Sorry. Doesn't matter, though. Doesn't matter, though. How much is this hitting for without that? Oh, some fucking how even more. Raikou just got fucking zoned, dude. Oh my gosh, it's literally gonna take all of its health. I think. Wait, will this take it down to the next bar? Will this take it down to the next bar? Please tell me yes. Holy shit. That's gonna set up rain, which is unfortunate, but that doesn't matter to me, man. How much without the ground, or with just ground zone and not the sand? Still 14,000, man. That's pretty good. That's still pretty good. 2 sync buffs. 2 sync buffs, and that's it. And it's 1 out of 5, no EX stats or anything. Bruh. That sync move hits for less damage. Goodbye, that's fair. Okay. Let's go ahead, take this Giovanni. Let's EX him and just watch him probably fucking obliterate the stadium. Oh, that's gonna be so fun to watch. Alright, this is where we're going to be facing Drazna. Apparently I overestimated Giovanni's ability to do off-typing well at 1 out of 5. So yeah, I had to make sure I was recording this, by the way. I really had to make sure because I was like, if I get this fucking win and it's not recording, I'm going to break my phone. But we were able to get the win in anyway. We got Archer here. He was really a big player because the problem I had with Giovanni was like too little damage. Yeah, too little damage for the most part, right? So I had to find a way to extend the amount of turns that we could deal damage in, and using Archer's flinches and sync countdown, I figured that would be the best way. So I did use 3 out of 5 Archer here with aggravation as well as propulsion on his trainer move, which allows us to essentially mimic a head start 1 lucky skill. So the propulsion was really good for that, which is probably, you'll probably see me abusing that ability a lot whenever I do Archer's 3 out of 5 showcase tomorrow. But anyway, yeah. Giovanni here, I kind of overestimated his off-type ability at 1 out of 5. But, I mean, at least he still hits really hard for ground damage, so there's that. I do probably want to do a showcase for him whenever I put him at 3 out of 5 with his Sigma-Suit counterpart, with Nidoking, because I think having both of them together would be funny. Gauge hell, but it'd be funny, right? So, whatever. We were able to get a lot of flinches in here with Archer to allow Giovanni to do some pretty decent damage on the Crushing Earthquakes. Giovanni's damage alone isn't so much the problem. It's more so the fact that, like, you have to build around everything Giovanni does, because him setting sand is a one-time thing, and it's not going to last for, like, the entire battle. So you need someone else who can set sand. In this case, Ingo. And now that I'm running Ingo, I need someone else in order to really, like, sub in for a damage slot. And I really just didn't have that option. Like, tried Cynthia, did not work at all. And all of that, right? Because I needed to sync with Giovanni in order to get the ground zone, but a setup with Courtney also doesn't work really well at all, so it just doesn't do enough damage. I needed to get a more unconventional setup with a lot of flinches and get the win that way, in which case I did, so that was good. Pretty sure here, yeah, I went for the Crushing Earthquake, and I don't know if I went through the flinch. No, I just went for the X attack because I needed to get that extra sync countdown in there. But we were able to get the win in anyway. 7,400 damage with only, what, 2 sync buffs? 2 sync buffs off type. Not too bad, though I do think it may have been with the physical moves next. But obviously this is a setup where I'm using an AoE move. If this was like a single target move, this wouldn't be nearly as bad, I'd say, because the damage single target is really solid. But since it's being split multiple ways, well, you got yourself a problem. Anyway, yeah, we were able to finish off Drazna here with 2,500 points. But mostly thanks to Archer, right? So yeah, she died to the sand, which is really good too. But yeah, and I also accidentally completed the stage, so I'm gonna have to beat Stadium after this. But that's fine, honestly. I needed to go ahead and get it done and over with anyway. But yeah, they're the parameters. Let's go ahead. Let's I guess recap Giovanni, I guess. Alright, so that was the overview for Giovanni and Rhydon. Overall, I think they're a pretty solid sync pair. Not, rock pun, whatever, rock solid. But, I mean, he's definitely got some problems, right? Like, I mean, the damage on these moves at 1 out of 5 is pretty bad, just straight up. It's because they're AoE moves, which makes a lot of sense. But if you do get him to dupes, it definitely fixes the problem, especially if you're doing super effective damage, because he does get multipliers at that point, and of course he gets the sync nuke, which is also really big. Of course, if you also give him the physical strike EX roll, that's another big thing. The AoE sync nuke does actually really help him out a lot, especially like against Stadium. He's very, very good for like Raikou and whatnot, and probably against other legendary arenas like Latias being weak to ice, Entei being weak to water, obviously Raikou again being weak to ground. These areas he's very useful in. Terrakion as well, where he is able to set ground zone with the EX as well as sand on the first time he's able to use Crushing Earthquake. He's got a lot of good stuff for these legendary arenas. He's more so built to just be like a high-powered unit, but also be really gauge needy. He really needs gauge, and that's one of the big problems with him for sure. Also, as I said in the Drazna team comp, damage is a little bit low since the moves are multi-target, but if you're single target, the damage is definitely really, really good for sure. Get the EX, he's got a lot of nuke multipliers as well, and that can fix some problems there. Overall, I do like his abilities, though, especially with the ability to ignore sand damage for your allies. That's very, very good. Very underrated, in my opinion, because that damage definitely builds up. Trust me, it definitely builds up. And obviously, powering up the moves and whatnot was good as well. So overall, not a bad unit. Definitely wants dupes or good partners, really. But that's kind of how these characters work, I guess. So, yeah. Let me know what you think about Giovanni and Rhydon down in the comments below. Yeah, I'll see you all later.